Hi everyone, Nichole here. We are back for another video. So I decided to do a piece today that's focusing on self-care. We've all heard this term, this phrase, but very rarely do we follow it because there's always things that we need to do, places we need to go, things we need to see. But over the course of the past couple of years, I've really realized how essential self-care is, whether it's physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, maintaining that homeostasis amongst all of those areas is essential for basic human functioning. I don't know about you guys, but if I don't get enough sleep, I cannot think straight the next day. If I am not spending time with God, I can tell that something's missing in my life. And I'm sure it's different for every person, but this poem is focusing on the importance of self-care and why now is the time to prioritize ourselves as we are moving forward and what God is calling us to do, because an empty cup cannot pour. We all know that. So in order for us to pour out to others efficiently, we have to first pour into ourselves. So without further ado, here is It's Time. And again, I will be looking down, looking at my laptop. So if you see me looking away from the screen, that's why. But yes, I hope you guys enjoy. Again, this poem is titled It's Time. An empty cup cannot efficiently pour. A broken clock cannot consistently tell time. A burnt out light cannot bring illumination. So why do we think that we can do these things as if our energy and body does not have an expiration? Our tank can land on E due to stress, unhealthy eating, destructive thinking, and lack of sleep. None of these things are conducive towards the progression of our mind, body, soul, and spirit. So now is the time to officially change this repetitive rhyme and focus on a rhythm that makes the most of our time. Time that we have not been given on accident, but on purpose to fulfill our calling, because our life is worth it. Our purpose and our future self depends on this shift. So it's time to rise up from the places where we continue to sit. What good are New Year's resolutions if they will be abandoned by March, becoming nothing but a trend while God is wondering when we will take back control and our confidence to fulfill those wellness goals from beginning to end? For even those simple practical things are essential to helping us win. If we would only knock, we would find that the door is ready to be opened. We just have to follow the words and the declarations that we have already spoken. Though you may not know how to start, your father and personal trainer is ready to meet you where you are. Ready to implement new habits to help you travel far, because words are just words until you take that first step at the start. Here's something you don't hear too often. It's okay to prioritize ourselves even while walking in our purpose. For we are part of our purpose too. Before ministering to others, we have to first minister to ourselves in order to do what we were called to do. It is essential that we pay attention to our needs too. Our needs will be different depending on who we are, but universally, we all have priorities that will either stunt or grow our ability to make sure we are getting the physical and emotional and spiritual nutrients that we need in order to succeed, and strengthening our roots so we can break free into the life that, most importantly, the identity He has waiting for both you and me. You see, our body is a place where not only we dwell, but it is the living space of His Spirit that can tell exactly what we need in order to be exceedingly and abundantly above what we think we could be. Everything that He knows we can be, He will help us to do just this, but it has to be a two-person thing. We have to choose to and make up our mind, because God is too good of a Father to force us to do what He knows is right. He will lovingly nudge us towards the way we should go, but even though the doors are open, we have to make the decision to go. With your yes results in others' yes, as your decision encourages others to become their best. And your fulfillment of what you need is simultaneously nourishes others in your proximity. Your healthy mind body, and soul collectively creates a temple made to also help others that will benefit from your accomplishment of your wellness goals. You see, your womb carries a child called purpose, but the health of that baby depends on the health of the mother. With this getting its energy and vision directly from the source, it depends on our vitality to cultivate it into the fulfillment of what it was promised for. Your child is dependent on 4 areas at its core. Healthy food is nourishment that is essential to the functions of the body. Our food selections, and rejections too, dictates what our mind and our body is able to physically do. Simply exchanging sodas for water or sweets for fruit can change our thought processes and our quality of life too. The body was made to consume the things that will energize and strengthen, restore and heal, grow and enhance through every snack and meal. Sugar and other tasty foods are pleasurable to the taste. However, we must remember that they each have their place, not as the majority of our intake, but as a portion that brings us joy with each taste, for an overabundance of unhealthy foods is automatically out of place and has the potential to slow down our spiritual, mental, and emotional pace. Sleep is as important as the air that we breathe, for it is the pause and delay that our body craves and needs. Providing space and time for restoration for every organ in our body so that it can function at its true capacity. Denying our body of this fundamental thing can cause our perspective to change towards so many things. Confidence drops, insecurities rise, peace dwindles and joy subsides. Hope wavers, endurance fades. Confusion swarms, all because we didn't get the sleep we needed for today. Yes, an apple a day keeps the doctor away, but 8 hours of sleep maintains the progress we have made. In our minds, bodies, and spirits, the growth we have experienced, is important that we embalm it with rest in order to preserve it. Sleep is a remedy for so many things, therefore, it is essential that we treat it as a priority. If you shared the thoughts you had towards yourself and spoke them over someone else, would it tear them down or build them up? Ladies, men, it's time to start treating ourselves like we are truly loved. Loved not only by others, and loved not only by ourselves, but most importantly loved by our Father up above, because He does not make mistakes. He intentionally handcrafted you this way. Every single element of you was and still is beautifully made. You are a masterpiece, handmade by Him. He loved what He created in you so much that He threw away the mold, making you the one and only original, with such a high price that your value is one that you can't even fathom. Therefore, speak to yourselves like who you are and whose you are matters. Speak words of life over yourself that's built on the foundation of joy and love, watered by His promises above, that will sprout and blossom you into the beautiful masterpiece God already sees. In your eyes, in your soul, all that's left is for you to understand this and know that your words matter and they hold power. One on top of the other, it builds a tower that will either empower or cause you to cower in anxiety and fear from the words that you've repeatedly yelled in your own ears. You deserve to receive grace, compassion, and love from yourself, just like you so freely give to everyone else. It's time to stop treating ourselves like we are not special. Because last time I checked, we are originals. Who God says we are, what God speaks over us, what God promises us is beyond everything else around us. When He says yes, no one can say no. When we think we can't, He uses those very situations to help us grow. When we are fearful and filled with anxiety, He knows exactly what to say so we can relax and hear Him clearly. What I'm trying to illustrate is His words are the air to our lungs, the energy to our body, the joy to our smile. Therefore, we must always keep it around. It doesn't matter whether it's through sermons or songs, silent prayers, or serving others. Our spiritual health is one that should not be exchanged for another, because it's the very thing that will help us to grow to become the friend, sister, brother, father, mother that we have always dreamed to be. Because we are truly at our best when we are sound spiritually. Remember that you are essential too. Therefore, treat your mind, body, and soul like they are expensive and valuable to you. Start treating it for what it's worth, because they are sublime, more than what you could comprehend in your mind. And in due time, God will open your eyes and remove the scales that blind, so you can see your worth for what it is, exceptionally one of a kind. It's time to accomplish the wholeness goals that we set long ago, and not just recycling them for next year when the progress appears slow. Success does not mean perfection in any way. Success is when we can finally say that I am actively choosing my wholeness and wellness every single day. And however I need it at that time, I'm listening to my body and spirit and mind this time. Here's to wholeness in every way, shape, and form. Here's to making health, rest, and positive thinking the norm. Here's to not lying when people ask if we are okay, but being completely honest when we say, I'm doing great. I'm having an awesome day. I'm doing well, and actually mean it when we tell others that life is going fine. And we can smile intrinsically and extrinsically because we know it's true this time. And with that smile comes a sigh of relief, because we know that this time, we did things differently. Thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed this piece titled It's Time. Again, I encourage you guys to prioritize your self-care, and it could be in big, small, medium ways, whether it's sleeping in an extra hour on a Saturday or driving up the Sheets to get in your favorite slushie. I added that in there because I love Sheets slushies. But it also could be, spending time with family and friends, reading a good book, spending time with God in worship, talking with Him about what's going on, like just doing yoga, working out, whatever that is for you. I encourage you to prioritize that self-care, and it's not going to happen over day. It may be like a roller coaster where you do it a couple days and then you drop off, but the important thing is that you continue to fight for that self-care, because God wants us to be well. He wants us to be whole. He wants us to be healthy, and that's healthy in every sense, every way, shape, and form, because He put a lot of effort into making us, and God sees us as valuable, and whatever is valuable, He doesn't want to deteriorate and fall by the wayside. He wants us to focus on building our temple and make sure that we're treating it well. So next time you feel bad about doing some self-care, tell yourself that you are worth it, that this is part of the maintenance of your upkeep, because every single thing in life has upkeep. Think about electronics, think about furniture, think about houses, think about anything that you purchase or own. You have to keep it up. Your house, what happens if you don't keep it up? It gets dirty and it begins to fall apart. It begins to not function at high capacity. It begins to just not be what it was created to be. A house is meant to be a home with people in it. But when you leave it be unattended, it's no longer a home. And so what I'm trying to say with that is that it's important that we maintain ourselves regularly, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, because in order for us to do what we have been called to do, in order for us to pour into others, in order for us to show up and be the person that He called us to be, we have to pour into ourselves spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. So today, whenever you're watching this, I urge you, do one thing for yourself that's self-care related. It can be anything at all. So do one thing for yourself today and know that you deserve it, because you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe, and click the notification button so you will not miss a video from me. And if you haven't already, please follow me on my social media platforms as well. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.